Joquena, and today I'm going to show you how to build a dollhouse, or at least how we built ours. And this is for like the 18-inch, if you can afford them, the American girl, we can't, dolls. Anyway. So I'm going to give you a little room by room tour here of what we did for the aesthetic stuff, and then I'm going to have my husband explain the boring structural stuff because that wasn't my department. So I really wish we shot this video 2 years ago because that's when we made this, and this has been played hard with. It's, you know, it's seen its better days, and we're actually going to be converting it to a Barbie house now. But what we did, we'll start with the bathroom over here. This used to have a bathtub. They broke it. A lot of our furniture, we have taken like the Target brand stuff. Like this beauty chair was on clearance at one point. This towel rack is actually just like a cabinet handle. So that was like a, I don't know, 30 cents type thing. And he just screwed it in from the side. And they can hang their clothes on there and their towels and whatever. The paint for all of the rooms was just paint we had on hand. Paint from their bedroom and paint from other rooms, so that was pretty fun. Didn't spend a single penny on paint, we just used what we had. And I mean, you could totally customize this. You could do scraps of wallpaper that you had. You could use scrapbook paper, I mean, instead of wallpaper, and just, you know, if you didn't want to use paint, and totally customize it. I did different floor in every single room, once again reflective of stuff we had left over from our house. This, if you look real close here, this is tile that we used in our bathroom, and a couple of pieces got broken. Once again, they play hard. And I'll shift on to another room here. So this was just something we had that I didn't want anymore, that they kind of use as a closet. I could have painted it pink, but they broke the door off pretty early on, so that took away the desire. Over here we have the kitchen, and once again, paint we already had. This was a birthday present from their grandma. I think it was like $50, so that was a nice birthday present. And this down here is black paint with flecks in it. We have that in our basement because we have concrete, so you know, don't do anything special, just use what you have around. If you were to go out and buy stuff, this is what I would recommend. This is peel and stick tile. And all you have to do to put it on there is cut it to size with a razor blade. And for us, it was exactly the width of the shelf. So he only had to make like one cut on the side. It was perfect. And then I painted flowers, and you can see my graffiti artist has added all sorts of her own decorations up on the roof and whatever. So I will switch over to my husband, and he can tell you the boring structural stuff. But don't spend money on a super expensive dollhouse. Spoiler alert, this is a bookshelf. A used bookshelf that we had left over that we didn't need. That was what we started with. And I've seen patterns for dollhouses, like blueprints, that cost at least $30. Dollhouses well over $100, or they're made out of paper, which doesn't last in our house. This baby is wood and tile, and it was meant to endure all of the abuse that is heaped upon it.
Okay, so Joquena wanted me to talk a little bit about how we made this. Probably the biggest thing that I can tell you from this is that I learned as I did it. I had no clue what I was doing. So I would say that's the biggest encouragement I could give you is even if you don't know what you're doing and you're just grabbing random pieces of wood and slapping them together and painting them, I mean, that's pretty much what I did. I mean, basically in a nutshell, this bottom part is a bookshelf that we laid on its side, and I cut it, you know, so it'd be the length that I wanted it to be, and I, you know, fastened in this middle shelf here to use as a wall. Now the hardest part was, all right, these were just some leftover boards that we had in our shed. We've got a bunch of just scrap wood in our shed. I believe these are just leftover subfloor pieces, and what we did was I took this big flat piece and laid it down, and then laid these on top of it like this and traced so that I would know exactly where to cut, so that I would get this triangle shape that was exactly the right shape to fit these on. And then we're going to turn this around so that you can see the back. Well, actually, right here you can see where the screws are. We just put in some Phillips screws right there. And again, on the side here, going into this
you can see a nice gap on the side. You know, the kids have yet to point out any structural issues with their dollhouse. They've loved it.
Okay, so we're looking at the back of the dollhouse. You can see how this was done. Again, this is a big triangle piece that was cut to fit. And where this is mainly holding together is these screws on the side is what's the primary thing that's holding this top piece on. There is a little bit of additional support. It's not much, but I tried to just do what I could. I took some of these little, I'm not even exactly sure what these things are called. These are what you like tack up wires with. And I just nailed those in so that it would provide a little extra support. So it's going into each side. And that's pretty much it. You know, again,
the backboard itself is attached all the way around, though. You look.
Do what?
You've screwed the backboard.
Oh, yeah.
All the way around.
Right.
You can see it's screwed every inch or so, or every foot or so.
Yep.
But it's two separate pieces in the back that makes it easier than trying to cut that one perfect shape, and it allows you to use scraps. I mean...
So if you do one like ours, even if you try to get as close as you can, it's not going to be exactly like ours because, you know, the scraps that you have might be different, paint colors you have. I mean, whatever you do, we strongly recommend that you use what you have. You know, use any scrap wood that you have, any leftover paint that you have. We didn't buy anything new for this, I don't think. Then we just used
3 peel and stick tiles.
3 peel and stick tiles. Okay, so that's all that we bought. Everything else was just stuff that we already had. Now, if you're like us and you've been doing a lot of remodeling on your house, you might, you know, already have a lot of scrap wood. If you don't have any, I would try to get some used or get some from a friend who's been doing a remodeling project rather than getting a bunch of new stuff. So anyway, that's the whole point, is to save money and use what you have. So that's pretty much what we did. Oh, one thing I want to point out, a couple of things actually. One thing I recommend doing, and I did not do it on this and I regret it, you can see by these scratches in our floor because of our kids, but you want to put like some felt on the bottom of this so that it's not going to scratch up your floor, especially if you have a hardwood floor. Put some felt on there just like you would with any furniture. It's a good idea. And then finally, the biggest thing is you want to, this thing's really heavy, and especially if you have smaller kids, you want to fasten this into the wall. Like find a stud and fasten it to the wall with a screw or something to just so it's sturdy, so that your kids aren't going to be able to pull it on top of themselves.
Yeah, just like a bookshelf. You want to attach to the wall because it could crush someone. And that would not be fun. That would be the opposite of fun. So anyway, save money. Dollhouse of your girls' dreams.